I want to start with your childhood. You had some self-esteem issues, not feeling good enough, not being smart enough, all that stuff. What happened that changed your mindset from I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough to the I can accomplish anything?
I think probably accomplishing some little things first. I was always a big dreamer, even as a kid. I wanted to, change the world, and I wanted to be a, professional athlete, and I wanted to be a hero, and I wanted to be all these things. But I didn't really believe they're possible for me because I just was like, well, who am I? I'm nobody special. I'm nothing. So I didn't even work towards that at all. I didn't even try to do much of anything. I mean, it's not completely true, but it's not like I didn't work. I got jobs and I played high school sports and I did things, but I didn't truly believe greatness was possible. After high school, I worked on a fishing boat for a little while and then moved up to Los Angeles back when I was 19 with an interest in film and TV and took some acting classes, but still didn't really apply myself, didn't really go for it. I think we often make a lot of excuses internally, and so we don't really fully pursue things. We don't really put ourselves out there because we're like, well, if I do that and then I also fail, I won't even have an excuse as to why. But if I kind of half-ass it, then I can just make excuses. So that's sort of how I was. And then I eventually I started traveling a bit. I would save my money up and go backpacking somewhere. And I ended up doing some relief work in the Darfur. And it was that time at 23 that I knew I wanted to join the army. I knew I wanted to be a Green Beret and I wanted to serve my country. And so I came back to the States and signed up for the 18 X-ray program and did that. And it all kind of began with that trip, going over there, what seemed like an impossible trip to a sort of a war-torn country in East Chad and Western Sudan, a war-torn region of those countries anyway, called the Darfur, and volunteering at the refugee camps after I was told, you don't have a college degree, you don't have any special skills, like you're not going to be able to do anything. And then I still just went anyway. And once I got there, I was able to help. I was able to volunteer for a couple of months. And like, I think that was a big switch for me. It was like, all right, not only was I doubting this was possible, people were also telling me, you can't do that. That's not the way it goes. It's not the way it works. But then I just bought a plane ticket and talked my way into it over there. And it really wasn't that hard. It was dangerous and crazy and kind of stupid, but the actual doing of it was not that complicated. I was overcomplicating it in my head, and I think other people were too. And just the fact that I made it happen, it was a small victory, I think. I talked a second ago about those little things first before you can accomplish the big things. And it was like, okay, well, if I can do this, I can do the next thing. And that carried over into the army. And it was like, just get through basic training and then airborne school. And if I can just get through that, and if I can just not quit today, I'll quit tomorrow. And then, you kind of all of a sudden you're in special forces selection and then you're finishing it and you're in the Q course and then you're earning a Green Beret and like all these things are happening. And you're still kind of that same person who's like, I don't deserve this, or I'm not good enough, but I'm here doing it. I'm an imposter or whatever, but you're still like in it. And so I think that's the biggest thing. It didn't really switch for me until early 20s. So my whole childhood, I didn't feel this way. But now I'm just like, all right, if I'm interested in something, I don't care how crazy it is. I'm just going to check it out and try it and learn about it a little bit. And then if I'm interested, I'll go dip my toes in it. And then if I like it, I'll just go for it as big as I can possibly do it. And we'll see where I land.